my name is Michelle O'Flynn. Today we're going to go over the beginner's guide to saving your money. I know that things are really tight right now. It can be financially difficult for a lot of families, especially here in San Diego. I think we've become um, one of the most expensive cities in the United States. I think the last time I checked, we were like number 8. Um, and things have become increasingly difficult to maintain a family here in San Diego. We're going to go into some things like cost of food, the cost of housing, things of that sort. And then we're also going to go into some items that are some perspective, that we can change amongst ourselves to help us save a buck here and there. Like I tell my participants that, $5 here, $5 there, it adds up, kind of like when you go to Walmart, and you're just spending $5 here, $5 there, and then you get to the counter to check out, and all of a sudden the cashier's telling you that you owe $300 because all those $5 added up. But things can work out for you in the opposite way. Saving $5 here and saving $5 there can also allow you to keep some of those monies within your own family. So we're going to go over inflation. What is inflation? Your income versus your expenses. Again, those small adjustments you can make to your budget that can make a big difference. Again, that $5 here, $5 there, it makes a difference when you're paying attention and you're paying attention and you have intention to make those adjustments, and you have the intention to save money, for your family, and then you can allocate those funds somewhere else, possibly do something really fun with your kiddos, plan a, family vacation, or, just do something really fun with your kids. And then also changing your perspective to seek opportunities to save. Again, here in San Diego, California, the United States, across the board, but most of all San Diego, because that's where I live, we've seen an increase in prices on food, clothing, rent. A lot of customers, especially during the COVID time, they were not obligated to make payments on their electricity or their utility bills. There was kind of this little moratorium, but now that COVID is considered over, we're seeing an increase in participants asking for assistance or some kind of alleviation of their electric bill. And sometimes we see electric bills come into the office that are like $1,000, $2,000. And it's just because of that long moratorium of non-payment. And so now that COVID's over, you have these utility companies, the water company, the gas and electric company, and they're coming after their customers for payment, for their past due charges. If you talk to SDG&E and the water company, you can work out some kind of payment plan to try to get those costs down. And then also sometimes they have other programs associated to their company. So don't dodge them. You might want to call them if you need assistance with your utilities. So some factors that impact inflation include the cost of production. Just like it costs more on us to purchase these things, those costs go all the way up to the top. So it also costs more for them to produce those things. So because of the supply and demand on those goods, and the cost has gone up to produce those goods, the cost has now trickled down to the consumer, and so that's why we're paying more, for the goods that we purchase. So I went over the price of goods, and then the demand of goods. So during COVID, there was an increase in demand on certain items, and it was because the consumer now had extra funds due to the COVID funding, especially those who had unemployment or were on a fixed income. There was this increase in your TANF benefits, unemployment benefits, things like that. But now that those extra funding for COVID are no longer there, still the price is still up because of the demand that was placed on these companies during COVID. Skilled labor availability, many employers are finding it hard, increasingly difficult to find employees. This goes many ways because they want employees, but they're not offering full-time hours. They are looking for part-time employees. Again, that has to do with them having to shell out money for benefits if you're a full-time employee. So they like to hire a lot of part-time employees. However, if they did hire full-time employees full circle because they're paying out these benefits to these full-time employees, then that means that the cost would go on the consumer to help cover these benefits for full-time employees. But now they're hiring part-time employees, but the price of the product still costs a lot because there's not a lot of people who want to work part-time. So again, there's just this lack of skilled labor and availability in the workforce. There's new technologies. With new technologies, it also means that there's some learning that needs to happen, and then the current money supply. So just to take a brief look at the San Diego housing today, I went through some resources just to see what the housing market looks like right now. This was a basic average in different locations. So a one-bedroom apartment was about $1,800 a month. A one-bedroom house usually wasn't a house. It was like a guest house or a garage that was turned into a house, a bonus room that they turned into, like something like that. Well, at least the one-bedroom apartment was. And then there were some one-bedroom apartments. The one-bedroom house was, like I said, a guest house or a garage that was turned into a one-bedroom. But anyways, it was about $2,000. The two-bedroom apartment, regular apartment complex was about $2,400. A two-bedroom house was about $3,600. Now, mind you, prior to COVID, I lived in a four-bedroom house renting, and it was $3,500. And that was before COVID. I think that was like 2018. Yeah, and it was $3,500 for a four-bedroom, upstairs, downstairs, and we even had a bonus living room. So to see a two-bedroom house at $3,600 is very expensive. Also, we've seen a lot of shrinkflation. Shrinkflation is when manufacturing companies quietly shrink their product packaging and charge you the same price for less product. So for a bag of Fritos, it was 9.75 ounces. Now it's 9.25 ounces. Toothpaste, it was 4.1 ounces. Now it's 3.8. So that's like 15 uses per tube that it's gone down. Raisins was 22 ounces. Now it's 20 ounces. So it's about 70 fewer raisins per can. And then toilet paper, it was 264. Now it's 244, which is about 20 sheets of toilet paper less. So now we're going to look into your income so that you can kind of go ahead and jot down what your income is. So you have your earned income, which is income that is actively earned from working. Also, and it'll be taxed by the government. So working your 9 to 5 job, a portfolio income is basically investment. And then unearned income is like income that you receive without doing anything. So it's kind of like gifts, inheritance, alimony, and TANF benefits. That would be your unearned income. So you would put all your income, any money coming in, add all that together, and then that's your income. So you want to write the names of any of your income or benefits that apply to you. So that could be like your earned income, unearned income. They can be child support, things like that. And then write how much you receive each week or each month. Total up the weeks of income, and then that way you can see your predictable and your predictable and consistent income. So let's see. We're looking at livable wages. So for one adult with no children, a livable wage is $22 an hour. A poverty wage is $6.53, which no one should be getting paid that much. and, minimum wage is $15.50, some places $16.50, other places. One adult household with one child, a livable wage is $45 an hour. A livable wage with 2 children is $58 an hour. And then a livable wage with 3 children is $79 an hour. So if you can go all the way over to the green area where it's 2 adults and both of you are working, both of you guys can basically make minimum wage and you'll have a livable wage. But 2 adults working, a livable wage is $24.65 with 1 child, $30.80 with 2 children, and then $39.35 with 3 children. And these are the livable wages for San Diego. So I looked up San Diego and the livable wage here, and that's what the numbers came up to. Some of the things that it's contributing is also medical insurance and childcare. So childcare fees. So some of these things that contributed to the livable wage may not apply to you, or they may apply to you. Other expenses, education, school supplies. If you're going to school, you have school fees associated with that. Car loans, home loans, food. Also with this home loan, and when it came to the rent being so high, some of the contributing factors to that is the price of property tax going up, as well as the interest on these home loans. So the interest on the home loans, when COVID was going on and, renters had that moratorium where they didn't really have to pay their rent. However, homeowners, property owners, they were still on the hook for their portion of their mortgage, just because renters didn't pay, homeowners still had to pay. And so to catch up on their home loans, because these renters weren't paying their mortgages, they had to take out, get money from their home, and thus it kind of jacked up their interest rate. So that cost trickled down to the renter. Also, another expense is food, health and medicine. We can put travel as like your gas. Oh no, there was already gas there. Okay, never mind. Credit card bills, your water bill, transportation, Wi-Fi, coffee, electrical bills, gas, phone bill, and trying to put money in your savings if you can. So a cell phone bill averages between $50 to $200 a month. This one that's kind of blank over here, that was internet and uh, subscriptions, like streaming subscriptions. So I kind of put like $50 to $100 there. Electric bill should be between $150 and $300, especially now in the summertime because it's getting increasingly hot. So that means that air conditioner is running more. Grocery bill about $600. Figure it's maybe $150 per week in groceries, depending on the size of your family. Transportation, $150 to $400 a month. So you want to track your spending. So sort your spending into categories, kind of like the little pie thing I did over there. And then total up each category and locate where you can make some adjustments to save. And this is where that whole changing the perspective of how you're spending money. So alternative thinking. So this is, are you getting the best deal? Sometimes we're just stuck at going to a particular store. But if you know that you can get a better deal somewhere else, then you may want to do that. Can you create this on your own for cheaper? And how necessary is this purchase right now? So some purchases, they can just wait. Like you can get it on your next check. Because sometimes it can make or break you depending on when you buy it. So like if you're in between checks, you might have to wait for the next check to purchase that item. And then the whole, can you create it for cheaper on your own? That's anything down to decor, to food, to just jewelry, like anything. That whole wire wrapping jewelry, like you can make that on your own. Just, things like that. Also too, like just look around when you have these stores at your fingertips on your phone, you can see whether or not you're getting the best deal and where you can find a better deal. How far away is that better deal from your house? When you average out the gas that you're going to spend to get there, does it make sense to go ahead and go for that better deal or just pay the extra cost with something that's somewhere closer to you? So I put this little house there because, growing up, you always heard "hay comida en la casa," which means like there's food in the house. and so it's just like instead of getting that $5 cup of coffee at Starbucks, there's always you can get like a can of coffee and it costs the same. It's like $5 for a whole can of coffee, and then you're sitting here paying $5 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And then like potatoes, you can get like a whole stack of potatoes for like $3 instead of paying $3 for some fries somewhere else. I understand like you're on the go, that's understandable, but we're talking about cutting costs. So if you can make those fries in your air fryer and you're, just fry them up at home and put them in a plastic container and take them to go, then, to save a few bucks here and there. But like if you're out and you can't do that and you just need to, I understand, but also to just try to keep that in mind when we're trying to change our perspective about how to save money. Your bill calendar. So I'm a visual learner myself. So I like to have a calendar up so I can see like when my pay date is. And then within those pay dates, I write down when the bills are due. And so I can visually see what check needs to go to what bill. And it's just easier to track my bills that way, so that I'm not, falling behind on my bill because, oh, I forgot, like I don't have enough money to pay this bill now because I waited until such and such time instead of just paying it like right when I got my check. Um, I found myself in that predicament like way too many times, so the bill calendar helps. Take action. So some things that you can do to supplement your income is just looking at some of your profitable skills. So that's just little skills that you have that you can make money from. Some people are really creative. They can paint, they can make jewelry. I have a friend who, like, he has this trailer that he hooks up to the back of his truck, and he has a side job where he'll take people's items to the dump for them. Um, he has them pay the dump fee and then also like his fee for taking the stuff to the dump. Also, I have another friend who does landscaping on the weekend. So it's just like some profitable skills. You might have a skill that other people need and they just can't get to it. I mean, it could just be cleaning houses, it can be making food, it can be doing catering some sweets, for parties. um, During COVID, a lot of people became really creative and creating that side hustle, those profitable skills. Avoidable fees. So if you can pay your bills on time to avoid any late fees, then do that because those late fees add up. Change in plans. So if you see that you can get a better deal on your plan, then go ahead and change that. Find utilities to reduce. A good example of that is all your streaming. You can look at things that you might be paying for, because I have an iPhone, and so I find that with my iPhone, I get like all these different iPhone charges, and so I'm always looking through my phone to see what am I subscribed to, and do I really need them? Can I turn that subscription off? Because again, $5 here, $10 there, $3 here, all that adds up. So look at some of your subscriptions and see what you have there, and just let go of what you don't need. And then spending habits that can change. So changing your spending habits, just remember there's food at the house. Some things you can just make at the house. How often you're going to purchase things. Growing up, I heard my parents say like, we're going to go into the store. I'm not buying anything. So sometimes it's not even like you need to change your spending habits. Sometimes you need to change your kids' spending habits, like them trying to spend your money. What should I pay first? Things that need to stay, things that you need to stay housed and utilities connected. You should always pay those. That should be your top priority. Things to keep or get a job. Your insurances that you need to pay, car insurance, and then obligations you need to pay, such as child support. Don't ignore the debt collector. So when a debt collector calls, you want to ask the collector's name, their address. Sometimes these debt collectors they purchased your debt from another company. So you want to know what the original company's name and address was, the account number, how much is owed, when the account became delinquent, when the collector obtained your debt, and the amount that you owe, and documentation that you're obligated to pay. I cannot tell you like how many debts I got out of because I wasn't obligated to pay them. Places like Credit Karma, you can go on there and you can challenge the debt And most of the time I was just putting like, I do not have a contract with this company, and they had to honor that, and they had to take that debt off my credit report. So you can dispute the debt, and then also to ask them for a copy of your last bill to resolve. If the debt is not legitimate, meaning that the new collector that got your debt from the original creditor, if you have no documentation saying that you're obligated to pay that person, you can dispute that debt and say that I do not have a contract with this company. And again, like I said, if it's true, then they'll have to take that off of your credit report. But if the debt is legitimate, try to settle. I had a debt, I believe it was like $300, and I got them to go down to $50 because I was like, I can give you $50 right now. And they took it. And so that debt was wiped off my credit report. Because I can say that there was a period in time where I was just overwhelmed. I have 7 kids. So I was single mom, 7 kids, and just like certain things, just at the time, it didn't matter. But as I got older, I really needed to clean up all that debt. So I went through my credit report and just kind of disputed where I could, paid what I could, negotiated payments when I could, just to try to have, just trying to boost that credit report. If you can pay your debt in full and move on, then try to do that. Again, like with the creditor, I had owed $300. There's no way I was going to be able to pay that. I was like, I got $50 right now, and they accepted it. And a lot of times they will accept it. And then if you're sued or they say, oh, well, we're going to take you to court, blah, 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 just make sure that you respond to any of the court documents that come through. So I hope this was informative for you and helpful. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the SCARE office. My name is Michelle O'Quinn, and thank you. And you can contact me at Michelle, MISHELL, @scareinc.org. Have a wonderful day.